CarX Drift Racing Online 2 was set to launch sometime in the next month or so, with the early access release planned for Q4 of 2025. This has now been pushed back. In a recent post released on Steam, and I believe on other social medias as well, from the CarX Technologies team, they've said, "What's up drivers, early access is being moved. CarX Drift Racing Online 2 is a new milestone for our projects. Thanks to our experience, we were able to implement features that have never been a part of our games before. New physics, new locations, car damage, and much more are waiting for you. Because of this, we need a bit more time to prepare for CarX Drift Racing Online 2 early access. We continue to work actively to ensure the project meets our vision of quality and depth. We are confident that we have already found the right balance between our ambitions and possibilities, so that you will be able to experience the results of our work as soon as possible. Early access is being moved to the first half of 2026. We will announce the exact date later on our social media channels. We can assure you that before early access release, we plan to hold several open beta tests where you will have the opportunity to try the game. We will be happy to hear your feedback." So unfortunately, another CarX game is getting delayed. My only reason I'm worried is because of how many times and how long CarX Street got delayed. And now CarX Street is also kind of hitting a point where it's plateauing a little bit, but they are recently announcing that they're going to be adding cops. I don't think though it's going to come to multiplayer. I mean, I'm just assuming, but the way it was presented, it seems like some kind of single player game mode once again, which is cool, but you know, at the end of the day, I don't know how long it's going to hold the player base for. I don't know if they're going to be open world or not. It seems like a game mode though from how it was presented. Choose your side, using that kind of verbiage, etc. So could be possibly just a game mode that people play for a day or two and then go back to what they were doing before. And CarX Drift Racing Online 1, well, it's, you know, at a point where it kind of is getting even more stale than it already was. And it's obviously been 8 years at this point, so rightfully so. But I do think that this game needs to hopefully not get delayed anymore. Q1 of 2026 is around the time that Forza Horizon 6 apparently is going to be releasing now, as they've moved up due to Grand Theft Auto 6, and I don't know if that's the best look. Trying to compete with that game that's going to be launching with a Japanese map, and if they're able to hit that out of the park, Forza Horizon 6 is pretty much going to lock up the racing scene until GTA 6 rolls around. So it's kind of crunch time here. I think the fact that it's early access, we honestly could have received the game, at least in my opinion, in the same state it was in the demo, and it would have been fine. I mean, the demo played good towards the end. They fixed a lot of stuff. I mean, that's what an early access is for, right? To release and garner feedback. Now, I know that's kind of a difficult statement to make in this current time of gaming, if even full release games are pretty much early access. It feels like everything feels like a beta test. I'm not like against the fact that they're delaying, as long as it actually goes to like really improve the quality, especially since they plan to host open beta tests, but I just don't really see the difference. I don't know, maybe some game modes aren't quite worked out. I really hope it has nothing to do with the physics, because the physics did receive a lot of negative feedback from people that are just so used to DRO1. I really like these physics in this game a lot better than both of the previous CarX games. I do think for some reason in the center of the steering it feels a little bit floaty. As you see, my car kind of rocks a little bit when you're anywhere near straightening, so I think that needs to be worked on a bit. But besides that, I mean, I felt like this was somewhat ready to go in somewhat of an early access state. Now, I will talk about some of the things that I think the game probably still needed and might be the reason for this delay. Maybe optimization for one. With the new damage and physics model, I bet there's a lot more optimization that probably needs to be done. Now, personally, I'm kind of on the fence with the damage. I feel like if you're not going to go like full beam and G with it, I don't know about you guys, but I saw it just kind of ruining my gameplay, with everybody constantly having to reset due to parts being all over the track, and if you hit those parts, your car kind of just exploded, making it just look bad, like not even realistic damage, almost bad, as you guys kind of saw that Supra earlier. So I don't know, if there's an option to do it, I might just turn cosmetic damage off in my lobbies, just because I mean, it's cool, but the problem is if the parts aren't invisible on the ground, I don't know, but like part of me also likes the fact that you can contact the parts when they're on the ground. Maybe there's some kind of balance there. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say in the comments down below about that. But for me, the damage was kind of like, whatever. The tires burned through a little fast, but it was probably more realistic than other games, to be honest with you. So I don't mind the tire model. I thought everything was fine. I think grip racing definitely needs some touch-ups. I actually was grip racing in DRO recently, and it felt a lot better than this game did, even though I like the drifting in this game better, and reverse entries and stuff in this game are easier. The weight feels a little bit better than DRO1. DRO1 feels just very, very lightweight. Feels like every car is literally made out of paper. And in this game, they have a little bit more weight, somewhat like Street. So I don't know really what this delay could be for, because I thought the game was pretty good. Now, if we're going to get this delay, I think it's only fair that the game releases with somewhat of a livery editor as well, as obviously in the demo we're not going to get a livery editor, but it would be really cool to see that when the game does release into its early access state officially. I think in my opinion it would also be nice too to obviously be able to save damage, which sounds kind of crazy, right? But say you have an open lobby and you want to host no cosmetic damage, but you want to use like your Ebisu car, and you have like an absolutely destroyed rear panel or a destroyed quarter panel, or you like the way your front bumper was damaged or your headlight was damaged, being able to save damage configurations would be super cool as well. That's something that I think you can do in BeamNG also, if you're going to keep the damage as severe as it is, or if it starts to affect performance. It's going to be interesting to see how that works out in multiplayer, because in BeamNG it's kind of fun, right? Even with it being super weird with the hitboxes and stuff, which I thought was pretty good in this game. Obviously, unfortunately, I had to run a VPN in order to even play online in DRO2, but when I was online, the hitboxes actually were better than I expected for all the damage and stuff that was happening. So curious to see how they do that. I would like to see tire marks on doors as well, if we're going to continue with the damage model like detail and stuff. Curious what you guys have to say about that as well. And maybe some different stuff with like the engine, like if it blows up and there's like oil on the ground and stuff, that'd be kind of cool if they're even thinking about adding those kind of things. But with all that more simulation, I feel like only adds more problems. I'm just trying to figure out kind of what this delay is even for, and this is just a yap session because I'm kind of upset because I don't get to play this game anytime soon, unfortunately. Unless they plan on hopefully releasing a beta this month, then I think that'll make up for some of the broken hearts over this delay. And if you guys are just receiving this news from me, then I'm sorry, but yeah, it's weird that it says Q1 of 2026 and they're saying first half of 2026. Realistically, based on the CarX Street launch, we probably can expect this game middle to end of next year. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it's really early next year, and the game is in a good state after a few open beta tests to where they're comfortable to launch. I think maybe best case scenario, the first 2 betas or so that they have go really, really well, and they decide to launch earlier than expected. I just really am scared of another CarX Street situation where the game gets delayed for a year or more, and we pretty much don't see it until it's been almost forgotten about. Because when CarX Street launched, it was like, oh, it's finally launching, and then it only launched on PC, which was also a problem. So I was hoping this early access would be like a long beta period for PC, and it would launch on both consoles as a full game at the same time. But the fact that they're delaying this early access means it's only going to stretch the hype out even more. So I don't know. At this point, I think they should just host betas until the game's maybe ready to launch entirely, and just launch it all as one game on all 3 systems at the same time, because that would probably be the best for the franchise. I think it hurt CarX Street a lot launching on different consoles at different times. It probably would have been better to launch all 3 at once, or console at once and PC at one different time as well. But I feel like I've already been yapping long enough, and in the background obviously it's just some Fuji gameplay I recorded with my boy Dano, and a couple open lobbies as well, and we had some school course footage on Ebisu also. I mean, I just really hope they at least release a beta this month to make up for the fact that the game was supposed to actually release in early access this month. So please, CarX, if you guys could drop a beta for your people, we would really like to play this game again, and we miss it a lot. Without further ado, man, it's been MxgicIQ. I'll see you guys in the next one, and hopefully we get this released sooner than later, and hopefully the cops in CarX Street aren't extremely annoying, and we actually see them maybe in multiplayer. See you guys in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.